request the MC to continue moderating the program until the close of the program, and I will come back and give a summary. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Prof. And I'm elated to indicate that tomorrow he would be delivering his inaugural lecture here at the University of Cape Coast at the School of Medical Sciences Auditorium. Let me go ahead and introduce the other dignitaries we have up on stage. To the immediate right of our chairperson, we have Emeritus Professor Kofi Awusabu-Asare. To the immediate left of our chair, we have Government Statistician Professor Samuel Kobna Inim. And I have already indicated Professor Kobna Isiadonkor is head of the Department of Population and Health, UCC. From the Ghana Statistical Service, help me acknowledge Mr. Kwejo Asante Mensah. And he's the Director of Administration, and we have Mr. Mark Dazi, Director of IT from GSS. Thank you so much for being with us. At this point, I'm going to call on the head of the Department of Population and Health, and this time round, he's going to give us the purpose for this gathering. Professor Isiadonkor.
Professor Chair, the government statistician, Professor Kobna Inim, Emeritus Professor Kofi Awusabu-Asare, provosts and deans and heads of departments, directorates, units, and centers here present, staff of the department, and most importantly, the Department of Population and Health, which is hosting this program, staff of Ghana Statistical Service, contestants who competed for the hackathon, students, ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor to have all of you here because today marks a very important section in the lives of every academic, student, and researchers. When I was being asked by an 8-year-old girl that why are you going to introduce a purpose which you have invited people to, participate in a program, I reflected upon that. And so perhaps I may refine the concept and say, I am here to affirm and confirm the purpose for which all of us are here gathered. We are here to have a launch of two important projects, Statsbank and Hackathon. I may not have the capacity to explain these two projects, but I believe strongly that the students, lecturers, academics here present will appreciate the fact that data, and as the chairman indicated, has become the most important developmental tool for every nation. And so the Statsbank had been created by the government, the Ghana Statistical Service led by the government statistician, to make available data to all and sundry. Now, we don't have the luxury again of time and money because the data is sitting in the website free of charge. And I believe we will clap for Ghana Statistical Service on that. And so today we are launching the Statsbank, which is a platform that all persons, all students, policymakers can have access to free data and use that to track developmental processes. particularly the Sustainable Development Goals and even the Agenda 2063. The hackathon is also a project that students alike at all levels, particularly postgraduate students, could engage in mind-blowing exercise, coming up with innovative ideas, so that at the end of the day, policy will be influenced. I am here to announce to you that the reason for our being here is to affirm and confirm that the invitation for which we have been, invited to help us, gather all ideas here. We are here to launch and then make available the Statsbank, which Ghana Statistical Service has created for us. It is free of charge. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Prof. So we are delving into the main reason why we are here, and gradually we are getting there. At this point, we're going to have an overview of data user-centered products, and to help us with this is the government statistician, Professor Samuel Kobna Inim. Let's welcome him with a round of applause as he approaches to give his speech.
Thank you very much, MC. The chairperson of the occasion, congratulations in advance for your inaugural lecture tomorrow, Professor Kwame Osei-Kwarteng, Emeritus Professor Kofi Asabo-Asare, and Professor Kobna Esiadonko. Thank you for creating this platform for the Ghana Statistical Service. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I always want my feedback. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Thank you. Professor Chair, obviously, I'm super excited being back to my own university for all the good reasons. But let me single out two issues that excite me the most. Chair, this conversation that we are having today is something that the University of Cape Coast 9 years ago nurtured in terms of how universities and for the country as a whole, we develop a data repository where we can consciously bring together all the data sets that are being collected by different government agencies, international agencies, and more particularly our graduate students. Professor Chair, in 2014, we led the establishment of the Center for Data Analysis Management, Center for Data Analysis Management, Analysis and Advocacy. In 2014, we launched that, and it had this orientation to pull together all the different data sets. This is another version of what Ghana Statistical Service is doing with the Statistics Online Bank. We are going to launch 4 different products today. One that we had launched earlier on, which had to do with the 10% of the micro data from the 2021 population and housing census. We are relaunching it because we've added other features to the 10% micro data. But of significant importance to us is the Statistics Online Bank that Ghana Statistical Service has done for the first time. What this bank seeks to do is not just to put out the census data, but put together all the data set as I indicated, the purpose for which CDAMA was established in 2014. So currently, if you go on the Statistics Online Bank, we have the 2021 population housing census, and also we've put together some key macroeconomic indicators from across government institutions, notably the Ministry of Finance, the Bank of Ghana, and obviously the data, the macroeconomic data that we have. Going forward, what we intend to do is to append on these 2 different data sets all our national surveys and collaborate with the universities, including the University of Cape Coast, so that we can have a one-stop shop where whatever analysis that we want to do, it can be done. Chair, why are we doing this? 2 reasons. We all talk about a gap between academia and policymakers. And Ghana Statistical Service has taken on that responsibility to bridge that gap. So the way we want to bridge that gap is what we are calling taking the census data, or broadly taking the Ghana Statistical Service data to the classroom. It is for this reason that we have engaged 5 universities and we are running this hackathon session, and the ultimate goal, Professor Chair, is to move the conversation around data production and begin to think about data usage. Why we are doing that is consistent with a global realization that with the complex problems that we have, and Chair, I say this on authority, with the complex problems that we have, if we continue to encourage our PhD students, our master students, to go and collect their own data sets, we'll be solving the problems in parts. The only way we can solve the complex problems that we have is when you engage with multiple data sets. So we are convinced, we are clear in our minds that the only way forward to overcome the challenges that we have as a developing country is our ability to pull together different data sets. Each data set is very discipline focused, and again, that is why UCC started this conversation some years back to move away from single disciplinary approach in addressing our research problems and the conversation of multidisciplinary and, more importantly, cross-disciplinary approach in solving the complex problems that we have evolved. And this is exactly what we are doing. We're going to share with you a stack of different data sets that we can find on the Statistics Online Bank to allow our students to gradually minimize the extent to which we rely on a single data set in our bid to solve the problems that we have. We are launching this hackathon, Chair, but we have an ultimate goal. We want to have a more functional relationships with the universities. So we are using this platform to extend the invitation that we've already put out there to the other government MDAs, that is the ministries, departments, and agencies, to get them to develop their own micro data policy, sharing policy, and have an MOU with the Ghana Statistical Service. Chair, will be happy that at the end of this engagement, that conversation would ensue where the University of Cape Coast would have its own micro data sharing policy, so that our graduate students will not keep their data that they collect to themselves. They will make it available. It minimizes cost and all the related risk that is associated with data collection. What is important about the micro data sharing policy is that it allows us to integrate that data with every other data set that other graduate students are collecting, and more importantly, get closer to the national data. Once the University of Cape Coast does that, we are happy to provide technical guidance to ensure that all the key issues around confidentiality, privacy, and all that is resolved, and then lead to an MOU between the University of Cape Coast and the Ghana Statistical Service to strengthen data usage, which in our mind we think is critical for our development. Chair, once I have the floor, let me take this opportunity through the board and management of Ghana Statistical Service to express our deepest appreciation to the university. We continue to engage both individuals, faculties, colleges, and for that matter, the university on different platforms in the work that we do. And I take this opportunity to say a big thank you to all those who have contributed to the diverse publications that in the last few years we've been able to put out there. Chair, I'll conclude by indicating that we are not leaving here without stocking the library of the University of Cape Coast. Over the census dissemination period, Ghana Statistical Service has put out 18 publications from the 2021 Population Housing Census. As part of our engagement, to my left, we share with you 2 copies of each of the 18 publications from the 2021 Population Housing Census with the university management. Chair, further to that, in recent times, we've moved the conversation strictly away from the use of surveys and censuses to inform national policies. In recent times, we have engaged more extensively with administrative data, and we think this is the way we have to guide our graduate students going forward in terms of the data that they use. So in recent times, we've engaged the Controller and Accountant General Department, leading to our publication on earnings inequality. In recent times, we've engaged the customs divisions of the Ghana Revenue Authority, which has led us to bringing out the publication on trade vulnerabilities. we've gone beyond the release of headline figures for inflation, and we've put out a recent publication on food price variabilities across the countries. And Chair, we've also added to the 2021 population housing census publications 2 copies each of our most recent publications that utilizes administrative data and some recent data that we've collected beyond the CPI and rate of inflation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Enim. When you look up the stage, we have another dignitary who just joined us. Help me welcome Dr. Jerry Opoku-Ansah from the Department of Chemistry, UCC. And he is also the newly elected president of UTAG, UCC. So it's time for a demonstration of the Statsbank. And we have 2 data scientists from the Ghana Statistical Service to do us the honors in demonstrating it to us. Let's welcome Mr. Simon Tvucc Onelimo and Miss Edem Triku. Let's welcome them. So let's appreciate them as they approach. So our dignitaries upstage would exit the stage so that they can equally enjoy the demonstration.
All right. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We had a technical hinge in projecting from the top, so we'll be using the projector from this side. Kindly permit us fix it. I don't know if you can put off the light so it can be visible. Thank you very much. I think that challenge has just been resolved. Okay, so thank you very much, government statistician. We are grateful for the opportunity. Thank you to the University of Cape Coast for providing the platform. So basically, this is the interface of the Statsbank. How do you get the link to the Statsbank? When you go to our website, www.statsghana.gov.gh, that is the link to the website for Ghana Statistical Survey. So once you go to the website, this is how the interface looked like. It has just been zoomed out a bit, but you see down here there is a link to the Statsbank. So once I click on that link, it takes me to have access to the Statsbank, and this is basically how it looks like. So basically, the Statsbank is hosting 2 major data sets. We have the 2021 population and housing census, and we also have some macroeconomic indicators being uploaded onto the Statsbank. So basically, this is how it looks like. So depending on the kind of data you are interested in as a user, that is what informs which of these 2 you select. The idea is that we're working behind the scenes very hard to enroll all our surveys and other data sources onto the Statsbank, so that this particular bank will be your one-stop shop for all your data needs. So basically what we have on currently is some macroeconomic indicators and then the PHC 2021 population and housing census data. So for example, if you're interested in the census data, you click on the PHC 2021 and then it takes you to this beautiful interface. So if you can see, you would realize that all the issues have been outlined. So ranging from difficulties in performing activity, you scroll down to water and sanitation. So if you're interested in a particular issue, you want to access data for that issue. So what it means is that before you hit on the Statsbank, you should have information on the kind of data you are looking for. So once you know the kind of data you are looking for, you come here. So for example, we want to demonstrate extracting information on economic activity, for instance. Now, so once I click on economic activity, it opens another interface for me. And this interface outlines all the tables that were generated under economic activity for the 2021 population and housing census. So once I get in here, then I'll be looking through for a specific information. So assuming we are interested in determining children in economic activity, and for economic activity, it was defined for persons 5 years and older. So what it means is that with the information we have currently, you will not have responses on economic activity for persons less than 5 years. So you realize that I'll be demonstrating children in economic activity, and that is 5 to 14 years by district, region, type of locality, age, education, and sex. So these are the dimensions of the table. So once I click on that particular table, it takes me to where I do the selection of the dimensions. So for example, if I click on this one, this is the interface it brings me. So once it brings me to this interface, you see the dimensions. Child in economic activity, and the child in economic activity is defined by two categories. We have not economically active and economically active. And what that means is that the child has been engaged in some form of economic activity, and the second category, the first one means he has not. Now, when you look at the second dimension, that is a geographic area. And if you look carefully on that dimension, there is a star. Even the first one, there is a star. What it means is that if I'm interested in a particular table, I will definitely have to select a category under that table. So if I'm interested in knowing children who are currently engaged in economic activity, I click on this one like this. So once you click on it, it highlights. But if I want to click all the two categories, all I do is to click on the first one, and then I drag down. It will highlight the two. But if I also want to select any of these particular categories I've selected, if I click here, it will unhighlight the categories. And if I select all again, it highlights including the total. So what it means is that the two categories fits into the total. So I'm only interested in children who are currently engaged in some economic activity. And then the geographic area outlines our geography, whether you want to access the table at regional levels, you want to do it at district levels, or at the sub-metro levels. So for example, if I'm interested in determining children engaged in economic activity in the central region for all the districts within central region, then if you look at this particular comb here, it looks like a comb. When you click on it, it opens this particular dimension in this format. And what it does is that it cascades. So if you pick Ghana, for instance, it outlines all the region, and there is a plus beside the region. If I click on the plus, it opens up all the districts within that particular region. Please, is that clear? So what happens is that, for example, Sekondi Takoradi Metro is a metropolitan assembly, and there are sub-metros under that. So if I click on the plus again, it goes deeper to the lower level, giving me information on the sub-metros and the Sekondi Takoradi. So for example, if I'm interested in Western region or Central region, all I need to do is to click on the region I am interested in, I open it up, and then I select all the districts in Central region. Sorry. So once you do the selection of all the districts, then that becomes the dimension for you. So in this particular case, we're going to select all the districts in Central Region, including the sub-metros. So once you click on them, sorry for the technical hinge, hope it resolved quickly. So you click on each of the districts of your interest. All right, so once you click on the district, you select all the districts within Central Region. Hope it comes quickly. All right, so basically, depending, as I indicated earlier, depending on the kind of table you are interested in, you just pick the dimension. So we'll be interested in identifying children in economic activity in Central Region. That is for all the districts. So can we change to this one? Sorry for the technical hinge. So this is how the selection is done. If you check the box, you select the particular district you are interested in. Then if you want to uncheck the box, you click on it and then it is done. So we are interested in all the districts, including the sub-metros in Central Region. So once you are done, you scroll down and say continue. So once you continue, this is what you're going to have. It opens up again to the variable selection. So we are looking for children who are economically active in all the districts in Central Region by urban and rural disaggregated. So we are disaggregating these numbers by urban, rural, and we may also be interested in disaggregating it by male, female. So this is how you do the selection. So once this is done, you click on show table. So once you click on show table, it brings the numbers for you. So basically, this is what you are going to see. And what it means is that there is a pivot manual function here which can help you do rearrangement of the table. So for example, I only want to have districts in columns, in rows, and then I'll have the other variables in columns. So if I click on the particular dimension, then I can move it to the other side. Then I click on locality, I move it to columns. I click on sex, I move it to columns. Now, before you do the arrangement of the indicators, you should have in mind how you want your table to look like. So for me, I'm interested in children who are economically active in urban and rural areas, and under urban disaggregated to male, female, and also under rural also disaggregated to male, female. So this is how I arrange the variable. Children who are economically active, then the locality variable will do it for urban-rural disaggregation, and under each of the localities, we'll have the disaggregation by male-female. So once I do this and complete, it's going to give me very beautiful numbers like this one. And then for this one, you see how the variables are behaving. So you're able to present your data this way. So once you generate the data from the Statsbank like this, then you go to Save As, assuming you want to move your table into a format you are comfortable working with. So once you go to Save As, it opens up a lot of saving options. You can save it as a CSV, as a JSON file, as an Excel file, depending on what format you are conversant working with. So for example, if you want to show the data in Excel, we click on Excel and we save. So once you save, it will automatically download the data file for you. So you see it being downloaded. So once I open it, then it takes me to Excel and show me where the file is. So this is how the file will be displayed in Excel beautifully. And then you can do whatever you want to do with the data. So basically, this is how the Statsbank works. And one interesting thing is that it gives you metadata as well. And for the metadata, it tells you that economic activity is not defined for ages less than 5 years and for persons in unstable institutions. If you pick our questionnaire that generates this data, you understand what stable and unstable institutions are about. So basically, unstable institutions, you have people who were in hospitals as at census night, people who were in prisons and all that. They were classified as unstable institutions. So basically, it gives you this metadata. It also gives you the date the data was updated. So for example, if there is any update to the table, this date will change. Now, one other interesting thing with the Statsbank is that after you are done with your selection of the table, it creates an API, application programming interface. So assuming you want to work with a software like R, you want to work with Python, any other software, you connect to that API, and it is able to extract the same table format for you to do whatever analysis you'll be interested in doing. The Statsbank also has a feature that helps you compute percentages. So if you're not interested in importing the raw numbers, you can import the you can do a computation of the percentages and move it out to Excel, and then you'll be able to do it. So basically, this is how the Statsbank works, and it is user-friendly. You can just hook on and then get the numbers you want for each district, and then for policy and planning purposes. So I'll end here for my sister to continue, and I'll come back again to talk about the restaurants. Thank you.
Okay. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for the opportunity. I am very excited to demonstrate to you another product of GSS, which is known as the Digital Census Atlas. So the link is on this card, so maybe later on you can access it. And this is an interactive platform that allows for easy visualization of some statistics. And this is like a layer on top of the GSS Statsbank. And it is more user-friendly and very easy to use. So if you have not been able to really play with the census data, or you have not really worked with the 2021 census data, this is a very great platform where you can easily view statistics for some census indicators. So the main importance or the main objective of this platform is to enable our stakeholders, policymakers, and even the wider public to be able to access and use these statistics to inform policy and also for planning or development purposes. So when you log onto the platform, when you log onto the platform, this is how it looks like. We have various tabs starting from the Home tab. So the Home tab gives a general overview of the platform. And with the other tabs, we have population, difficulty status, economic activity, and so on. So you can just select any of the topics which is of interest to you. So let's start from the population. So beside each key topics too, we have different topic areas where you can also just select any of them and then go ahead. The next thing is you go ahead and then select a level of disaggregation or the main metrics or indicator for the topic that you choose. So this one we have the population, and for the population, what we have here is the median age. So if you want to look at the median age for a region or a district, so you can just select the median age and then select any of the level of disaggregation. Here we have total, male, female, and the difference between male and female, which kind of show the gender gap when it comes to median age. So looking at the total, the next thing you have to do is to just go to the Ghana map and then hover your cursor on the map. Once you hover your cursor on the map, you are able to view the statistics for each of the region. So we can see that for Bono is the median age is 19.5. So if you want to look at that of the male and female, if you're interested in that, you can just click and then go to your map, just hover the cursor on it. Then you are able to view the statistics for each region. So if you want to even drill down further to view the statistics for the districts, what you have to do is to just zoom in. You zoom in to make the map a little bigger. Then you go ahead, you just click on it to view the statistics for each of the districts. So this works the same for all other key topics. Let's say when we come to population with any type of difficulty, when we want to look at difficulty in any form, whether it's seeing, walking, communication, difficulty in communicating and all that, we can just again select any of the level of disaggregation. Then we move on to the map, hover on it to just beautifully view statistics for each region, or you zoom in then to get the values for the statistics. So we can see that this is quite easy to use. It's more friendly and it's more user friendly. And once you are not able, if you don't want to, you can't really access the data on the Statsbank, sorry, then I think the platform that is very great for you. You can easily access statistics here. And I want to point out that this platform, you can only get statistics when it comes to maybe if you want to look at median percentages of maybe the number of people, the percentage of people who have a particular difficulty, then you can easily get it here. But if you want absolute values or you want raw values, then we have a link. Please, can you see, we have a link here, GSS Statsbank. I don't know, it's like I'm covering, okay, sorry. We have GSS Statsbank population by difficulty status. Please, I hope you can all see. So once you want to get a detailed information about these statistics, the various statistics, you just have to click on this link and it will take you directly to the GSS Statsbank itself. So as I already mentioned, this is just like a layer on top of the GSS Statsbank. So if you want the actual or absolute values, then you have to actually visit the GSS Statsbank. So this is how it works for all the indicators, and the platform is really still under construction, and we are still working on it to add more indicators. So we can see that in just in few steps or something, you can easily just view the statistics for each of the indicators you are interested in. Thank you for your attention, and maybe you take.
Okay, thank you very much, Adam. Please give it up for GSS. We are doing great. All right, so yes, GSS is now trying to roll on a lot of platforms so that our users can benefit from it. So this is another platform. Just a second. Okay, so there is another platform we've developed, and it is basically what we call the rasterized data. So this platform basically has to do with presenting data at a lower level other than district. So currently, if you need any data from GSS on the census, you can have information at district level, except of course, we are specific with which EAs makes up the particular locality before we do the extraction. But this rasterized data helps you to obtain data below the district level. So for example, if you're interested in locality level information, then it can help you. Now, how this platform was created, basically what we did was to create 1,000 by 1,000 meter grid. So what it means is that if you pick 1,000 meter by 1,000 meter square, then you create statistics for a particular square. Now, what happens is that if a square, and the condition is that a square should have at least a minimum of 100 population. So if you create squares that did not have up to a minimum of 1,000 population, 100 population, all we did was to add neighboring squares around it so that we could ensure that that particular grid has at least a minimum of 1,000 population. So basically this is how it works, and currently it is under construction. We have 3 indicators on that particular platform. So for example, we have education, literacy, and then the age groups. The idea is to roll out all the census indicators on this platform so that if I'm looking for information from census below the district level, I'll be able to use this particular interface. Now, this particular interface has 2 tabs. We have a tab where you come and explore to look at the statistics of a specific grid. And then there is another dimension where you can go and do your own analysis. Now, the other side of it allows users to add on their own data. So if you want to bring in a CSV file to do an analysis, if you want to bring in a shape file to do an analysis on this platform, it is allowed. Now, basically what happens is that, so for example, if I want to zero into a particular area lower than a district, there is a key here, a lasso I can click on. So as I click on, it gives me the access to do a selection of the particular area. So once you highlight the particular area, so it picks up the statistics of that particular small area. It gives you the population size, it gives you the age distribution, and then it also gives you access to education level and then literacy. So basically, this interface, as I mentioned earlier, is currently under construction. So once you click on it, it gives you. So for example, if you have a locality in mind, for example, want to look at the situation of Cape Coast. So what you can do is you can determine how many grids makes up the Cape Coast North sub-metro, for instance. So if you do a type of, so there's a search key here which will aid you to have access to a particular district you are interested in. So once I do this, you see Cape Coast. So if you click on a particular grid within Cape Coast, there is a pop-up that gives you the statistics of that particular 1,000 by 1,000 grid, which is within the Cape Coast Metro. So once I do that, I have information on the number of people, and I also have that number disaggregated again by male, female. So basically, this is how this interface also works. So again, if you want to do a selection of a particular area within the grid, you can still do that, and then it will give you information about it. So once I click on the next grid, it gives me information on 1,000 by 1,000 meter, and then I'm able to identify the statistics of the indicators that are currently on the platform and how they differ from 1,000 by 1,000 grid to 1,000 by 1,000 grid. So basically, this is the rasterized platform, and this is the analysis side I mentioned. So as the message comes, we say it is for advanced users. So if you want to do a further analysis on the data, then you click on the next tab. So we have indicators tab, and then we have the analysis tab. So once I click on the analysis tab, it gives me a message that is for advanced users. And once I come in here, so as I mentioned earlier, sorry for the technical hinge. All right. So as I indicated earlier, the platform allows you to add on your data. So if it is a shapefile or it's a CSV, you want to do an analysis. It also has a search function which will allow you to have access to upload your data and then do analysis. And then you can also have access to 1,000 by 1,000 grid, how the indicators are different. So this platform, basically, the idea is that it is to help us. So when you click on this particular tab, it gives you an information describing basically the features of the platform and how the user can have access to this particular platform and use. Thank you very much.
Right, thank you very much, Simon and Adam. We have a question and answer section for this particular demonstration. If there's anybody who has a question to pose on what we have just witnessed, this is the time to do so. If you have a question, you raise your hand, I'll get you the microphone. Please approach, and our demonstrators will help with a response.
All right, thank you. My name is Emmanuel. Now, I was part of those who collected the data for the 2021 population and census. But I would like to know, how safe is this data? And to what extent have we taken steps to ensure that this data will not be used for any other purpose other than which it was intended?
Okay. So we take more.
We have 2 for the meeting.
So my question is also on the API. Is it free or it comes with a cost?
All right, thank you very much for the 2 questions. They are very important to us. Now, let me just mention that as you use any of our platforms, if there are issues you encounter or if you have a suggestion, don't hesitate to get in touch with Ghana Statistical Service, and then we'll work hard to try and improve, because currently these products are user-centered, so you need to make sure you drive the maximum benefit of it. As to whether the data is safe, yes. You remember that whatever statistics GSS release, the data is anonymized. So what it means is that you cannot trace a particular response to an individual. So once we release our micro data or release our statistics, we cannot guarantee what a user will be doing with the numbers. But what we can say is that the numbers have been put out there. So once the numbers are out there, you use it for your researches, whatever. But what it means is that you don't have bio information of individuals, or maybe you cannot have the telephone number of the person, the geographic location of the person and all that. So all these data set we put out there has been anonymized and is safe to use it. And whoever is using it, what I can say again is that we can't guarantee, or we can't be on everybody's machine to tell what they are using our data set for. The data, we are making sure to make it available for our users. And with the API, yes, it is free. It's just like how we use the Statsbank. So instead of going to click on the Statsbank, download the data in Excel. So once you do the selection of the variable, it creates an API which you can pull into your software and then use it, extract the data for whatever you want to use it for.
Yes, please. Thank you very much. I must commend GSS for this great initiative. You've actually done a yeoman's job. I was glad personally maneuvering the interface and getting access to quite a number of data easily, which could otherwise be difficult in the previous times. My question is, I've realized that with connectivity, the challenge will arise from the issue of connectivity, where my mother or brother in the village, typical village, who wants to access all this data, yet still have a problem with connectivity. So I don't know how you can help, since your aim is to make the data available to all users. Thank you.
All right, Logro Snyder, Eric. On the Statsbank, I would like to know, I was trying to extract data, I think 3 days ago, on economic activities that individuals who cannot perform tax at all in at least one domain. And I realized that in selection of the age brackets, you cannot select more than 3. I don't know if it has been rectified. If it is not, why is it so? Unless you select. Sorry, so I was trying to know that in selecting the age brackets for, let me say, economic activities, you can only select 2 or all of them. I don't know why it is so, and if that is it, then a reason can be given to us or that situation can be rectified. Thank you.
Okay, the question, thank you very much. The question on how mothers in the village will have access to data. Well, it's tough. I mean, GSS is always trying as much as we can to make sure that. So maybe if your mother watches traditional media, she would have been informed that Ghana's population is 30.8 million. I don't know what else you want to do with data beyond that information, but if she needs data and she doesn't have access to internet, you need internet to be able to work on this platform. So if you don't have internet, then it's going to be very difficult. So that is why he has you as a son. You help your mother to extract the data he needs. All right, then the question on, I wish you could project on the fact that you can't select more than 2 age categories. It is new to us. We'll look at it. I don't think it's something that is, but we'll rectify it. We just tried it here and it worked. The selection worked, but so maybe I can see you backstage and then we'll explore how to resolve that particular issue. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Isaac Mensah from KA Municipal Assembly. Normally after the census, there's a report, district analytical report, which give us information below the district level at the community and locality level. Should we still expect the district analytical report, or everything is going to be embedded in the rasterized data so that we can also use it for analysis at the community level? Thank you.
I don't want to say the question is beyond my pay grade, but the government statistician is here. If he can please respond to.
Thank you very much. Let me start with the earlier question on those who will not have access to internet, therefore we are excluding them from these online platforms. Definitely, it's one of the reasons why in the census we collect data on ICT usage. So we get a sense of where we have challenges, and that is why in my earlier submission I indicated that we work closely with the MDAs to point them out to areas that we might be excluding them because of a national challenge. Having said that, the other thing that we want to do at GSS is to really consider offline versions of this so that you get to an area where you get access to the platform, but subsequently when you are in an area where you don't have access, you can still go ahead and do the analysis. The question that was referred to me in terms of being beyond my colleagues' pay grade. It's a very important question in the sense that if you go through the SDGs, one of the things that we think about strongly is environmental sustainability. In the 2010 census, and we've even made an attempt with the 2021 population housing census, you have no idea of the amount of papers that we're going to print if we want to go by what we're doing at the district level and also for the 10 top communities within the district. We are still going ahead for 2021 population housing census reluctantly. This is because, as you've seen here, we can get the data from a digital point of view. But for it's coming up from our MDA level, they want to see the hard copies of that. We are using the 2021 population housing census to sensitize all government operatives that this will be the last time that we'll be publishing the district top communities in hard copies, and then get all of us to be ICT friendly, where we can access the data as my three colleagues have demonstrated the digital platforms to us. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Do we have any more? Yes, we have one message to be read.
Yeah. 3 text messages I received. One had partly been responded to by the government statistician, and the person was asking whether we have offline apps that can also allow those who are outside the domain of internet to also have the data. That has been addressed. The second is this. Those persons with disability, do they have any way of accessing the Statsbank as well? And then the third is this. All to data. Okay. Do we have all the census data on the Statsbank application, or is the 10% that is made available currently? Thank you very much.
Okay, so I'll start addressing from the last one. So for the Statsbank, currently as we speak, we have all the census tables we generated from census data on it. So what it means is that if you want to look for, if you want to do any analysis, you are doing it on the full data. It is not 10%. To add on to this, we have also released the 10% micro data, which is on our website, and it can be accessed by all persons. If you're not interested in working with the Statsbank, you need the micro data to do cross tabulations across sections. There is a weight variable in there which will help you weight the data from the 10% to the national level. So that has also been released. And with persons with difficulty, or persons with difficulty in performing activities, not disability, they only have special abilities. So basically all we are doing is to make sure no one is excluded in the use of our data sets. So basically, as the government statistician mentioned, there are a lot of plans we are rolling out to ensure that whatever product we put out there is user-centered, and for that matter, no one should be excluded. So we are working hard to put these apps in brailles so that visually impaired individuals can also have access to data for whatever they want to use it for.
Right, thank you very much. Let's give it up for Simon and Adam. They are data scientists from the Ghana Statistical Service. So I'll invite our guests who are upstage to take their seats once again as I welcome Tvucc Cultural Troupe to give us a cultural display. Let's welcome them. Right, thank you. Thank you, Bocheku. Thank you very much, Bocheku Cultural Troop. Thank you very much. Bocheku Cultural Troop, thank you very much. Thank you. Let's for them. Bocheku Cultural Troop. So it's time to launch the Statsbank. And to help us do that, the government statistician, Professor Samuel Kobneni, and our new chair, Professor Edem Amenume. They'll do us the honors. Let's give it up for them whilst they formally launch the Statsbank.
So you raise it and then you say it's duly launched. That's all.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Board of Ghana Statistical Service, Management, and the University of Cape Coast, I hereby declare the Statistical Bank duly launched.
Thank you very much. Pretty shortly, we would have the presentation of the Statsbank Hackathon recognition of mentors and judges. But ahead of that, let me acknowledge a few personalities who are here with us. Professor Moses Jojo Egan is Provost of the College of Agriculture and Natural Sciences. Let's welcome him. Professor Mrs. Sarah Dakwa is Dean, Graduate School, School of Graduate Studies, UCC. And our new chair, Professor Edem Amenume. He is Vice Dean of Students, UCC. We also have the Director of CESED, Professor Mrs. Mavis Benemensa. She's here with us. Let's acknowledge Professor David Teidoku, Director of Drake, UCC. Professor Sari, Paul Asari, is Head of Department Crop Science. Let's acknowledge him. And let's also acknowledge students from the University Practice Senior High School. Give us a wave. Thank you so much for being a part. Right. We also have the Provost of the College of Education, Professor Ernest Kofi Davis. Thank you very much. If Dr. Kanta is here, yes, let's welcome him because he's going to give a brief presentation ahead of presenting recognition to the mentors and judges. Let's do it better for him whilst he comes up stage.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much for this opportunity. I think when the government statistician was making his presentation, he suggested the need for a data sharing policy, and CDAMA has initiated that over here together with the Directorate of Research, Innovations and Consultancy. And hopefully in October, we hope to organize some seminar for deans and provosts on the data sharing, the draft policy. And then next 2 weeks, 27th September, the center will be organizing a data sharing and metadata workshop for graduate students of the University of Cape Coast. So some initial steps have been taken towards achieving a data sharing policy for the university. Just want to make this known.
Just put this one here, 9. Until we get that's what it is.
Okay, so sorry for the technical hitch. So, yes. So I'll be doing 2 presentations. I'll be telling you about the teams and the teams that participated in the hackathon exercise and the things they presented on. Then I will also talk about the mentors and the judges who we worked with, and end up announcing the winners for the exercise. The exercise started on Sunday. A group of 25 students in 6 groups participated in the hackathon program itself, and they started working on Sunday. They finished around 11:30 today, and we have some winners in there who will be representing University of Cape Coast at the National Hackathon event. So, can we see the teams? So, the first team we see here are Team Mean. Team Mean worked on using the data from the Statsbank to look at energy poverty in Ghana. They analyze issues related to energy poverty, looking at the sources of energy for cooking and other sources. In the country currently, electricity coverage, they indicated, is over 86%. So it's easy for you to assume that there's no problem with energy poverty. So they attempted to look at energy poverty situation in Ghana from the perspective of cooking fuel. So these are the team members of Team Mean that participated in the hackathon exercise. Then we have Team Bajwemba. Timbajimba. Timbajimba also worked on something related to town planning. So they developed a dashboard called Town Craft, which provides some basic information about the infrastructural facilities available within a district. And that you get to know the districts that will need some health facilities. Immediately you go to their dashboard, you'll be able to see districts that requires some additional health facilities, some school infrastructure, road infrastructure. It makes it easy for planning, and they use data from the Statsbank to develop that dashboard. Let's look at. The next team we have here is Team Sky Up. Team Sky Up worked on trying to estimate the possible property tax government could generate from the various structures that was captured in the 2021 population and housing census. So they were able to come up with some estimate of amount of money government could generate per district based on the structures that were listed by the Ghana Statistical Service and available at the Statsbank. Then Team Robust also looked at something related to schooling. So school enrollment, and they were looking at some access to social amenities like water, how proximity to water sources affect school enrollment in various districts. And they also came up with a dashboard that looks at available of school infrastructure across the country, availability of school infrastructure across the country, and also access to water, and then distance from the children's home to the nearest school. They also look at the distance, and their dashboard could also help policymakers to identify probably in addressing school enrollment issues, looking at the distance and then access to water and how it could influence school enrollment in the country. Then, Great Minds also developed an AI tool that one could use to access information from any. So they also developed something sort of a Statsbank, and then they had, in addition to that, an AI tool that could provide additional information you need. You just ask, and then the AI will give you feedback based on the data available at the Statsbank. So that was what the Great Minds also did. And the last team that participated, Team UCC. Team UCC also examined school dropouts using data from the Statsbanks. So these are the 6 teams that participated in the hackathon program for the University of Cape Coast, and we currently have 3 winners. Let's look at the mentors and judges. And we were fortunate to get 3 mentors and judges from the University of Cape Coast. So we had mentors and judges from the University of Cape Coast. We had Dr. Francis Ano from the Directorate of, from Drake, serving as a judge and a mentor from the university. Professor Jojo Hagan also helped us in judging and also served as a mentor. And then Professor Paul Aguasare also helped us in this exercise. Apart from the judges from the University of Cape Coast, we also had judges and mentors from the Ghana Statistical Service. We have Simon Olimo, who just did a presentation here, Lawrence Smith, Abed Salim Adam, and then Edeb Tvucc. They all also served as mentors and judges for the hackathon exercise. So Please, let's give our mentors and judges some hand of applause. Now, all the participants who participated in the hackathon project, your certificates are not ready yet, so please stand up. Let's give you a hand. All the participants who competed in the hackathon project. Let's give all of them a hand of applause. For the students. So now we want to know the winners. 3 participating teams will be selected. They are going to be awarded, and then they are going to represent the University of Cape Coast at the national event. So starting from the 3rd position. From the 3rd position, we have Team Robust. Team Robust had the 3rd position. We call on Professor Sarah Dakwa to do the presentation for us, the Dean of School of Graduate Studies. Prof, they will give, yeah. So they worked on, Team Robust worked on school enrollment and access to water. School enrollment and access to water. Yeah. So may I call on Professor Emeritus Kofi Awosabo Asare to do the next presentation for us. And then the team that had the 2nd position, Team Badrimba. Team Badrimba. They worked on having a town, they worked on the town craft. They developed a dashboard that would help town planning and effective decision making for at the district level using the Statsbank. Team Badrimba. May I call on Mr. Kojo Asante Mensah, the Director of Administration at Ghana Statistical Service, to present to the winners. So, the team that is taking the 5,000 Ghana cedis from the University of Cape Coast, we have Team Great Minds. So, the interesting part is they are all level 400 students, and they developed the AI. Well done, Team Great Minds. I nearly said Team AI. They developed an AI tool for searching, giving you feedback from the Statsbank. that you can get feedback from the Statsbank. So the tool they developed, if, for instance, you want to find out any information, I think they'll be doing a presentation on their work. If you want to find, let's say you want to know the total number of people living in an area, once you type, the AI tool will fetch that information and give it to you. That was the work they did. So on the program, I think there will be a presentation by Team Great Minds. Let me hand it over to the MC. There's no... Oh, okay. So, Team Great Minds, please come and then present your work. Thank you very much.
Bridging the digital divide, exploring the role of education and employment in enhancing ICT access and usage. So digital divide refers to the gap. It refers to the gap that shows people who use modern ICT and those who do not. And has Hello, please, I'm Millicent Enumariaboa, and we are Team Great Minds. Please, the topic for our project is Bridging the Digital Divide, Exploring the Role of Education and Employment in Enhancing ICT Access and Usage. We all know that digitalization and ICT has become integral in our daily life. They have reshaped how we communicate, work, and learn. As a result, Ghana has embarked on a digital economy through the use of ICT, and these ICT programs include the e-Farmer, My Ghana Pay, Ghana Post, GPS, and among others. However, there are some disparities in ICT access in Ghana. That means some districts have high access to ICT usage, others do not. So we came up with an objective that we brought up a dashboard that will examine the district disparities in digital divide to help government to make informed decisions. And we developed an interactive dashboard showing the relationship among several variables that affect the digital divide. And thirdly, we developed AI technology that will enable to tell more story about the data. So I'll end my presentation here and my colleague will continue.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Millicent. So the main aim of our product is to help users, mainly the people of Ghana, to have access to the data from Statsbank. And again, in addition to that, we develop a dashboard to assess the digital divide in Ghana. So from our dashboard, you'll be able to see some districts in Ghana with a higher proportion of digital divide in Ghana. And again, the data we use for our dashboard can be accessed through our website. So we designed this website and we put a link here that you can follow the link to get the data to our analysis. And then the last link here leads to the dashboard. Yes, so this is the dashboard. The first visual on your left is a cluster chart which shows a relationship or the correlation between non-literate and non-use of digital devices or ICT in Ghana. Now from this result, there is a positive correlation. This means that the more the number of people who are non-literate increases, the more the number of people who do not use ICT or digital device increase. Then to the very right of that is also another cluster chart showing a positive correlation between the literate population and the use of digital device. And this also gives us a positive correlation, meaning that the number of people who are literate increases more than the number of usage of IT devices. Now down to that, the very left is giving us the top 5 districts in Ghana with the highest proportion of digital divide. So for government agencies, they will be able to determine that which district should really focus when it comes to digital divide. Then to the right of that is also a cluster column chart showing top 5 districts in Ghana with most access to ICT tools or digital technologies. And this result will be able to aid the government. Whenever the government wants to launch any data project or product, they can focus on these areas for testing and analysis for the very beginning of those products because they have access to digital technologies. Page 2 of our dashboard is also showing various districts and the proportion of digital device. And again, the total employment of that district with a breakdown of table B beneath it. So the figures you see on top, when you select any district, you see the proportion of digital divide. That is the percentage proportion of that divide. The people who use smartphone only, the people who use both smartphone and non-smartphone, then the people who do not use neither smartphone, neither non-smartphone. So those people do not use phone at all. And the dashboard will be able to tell you any district that you select, or any district you select, the total employment and then breakdown of the employment, what the person is, the people are self-employed, they are doing somebody work, self-employed with another employees, self-employed with no employee. The table beneath gives you the breakdown. The next page of our solution is the AI technology, which is the last one to present to you. So this AI technology will be able to help all users who visit our solution. It's aid them and it gives them insight into the Statsbank data. What this means is that the AI is built upon Statsbank data. So any insight you want inside the data, it will give you. So for instance, you come to the site like this and you want to ask questions about the data. For instance, you want to know the region with the most employed according to Statsbank data. When you ask the AI, it will be able to tell you the number. And it will even give you about 5 of them in rankings. So let's demonstrate. So he prompted the AI with a certain question, and the answer will come. So we want to zoom in to see the particular question that he asked, and the result that the AI gave. District with most employed population. And this result is based on Statsbank data. So we can cross-check from Statsbank original website to see the answer from there. And it gives you the real-time data. Thank you very much.
Let's do it for them. I believe all those who have received awards have done extremely well and deserve to be appreciated. Thank you so much. So that's about it for this event for today. We are just about ending it, and I would invite our chair, Professor Edem Amenume, to give his closing remarks, and then we'll take the vote of thanks and the closing prayer as well. Let's welcome Professor Edem Amenume.
Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, again, and standing on protocols already declared. I'm here representing the Vice Chancellor, who was initially represented by my Provost, Professor Sekwatan, who has to be somewhere else and has left the chair for me. I must thank our colleague, Professor Nim. I don't know whether we shall describe him as prodigal son or prodigal brother or prodigal lecturer. Even though he's gone, from time to time he comes to make sure that one feet is on the ground here in UCC, and has sought several ways to ensure that his absence from UCC benefits UCC one way or the other. And for that, I think he deserves an applause. Well, to the management and the board of Ghana Statistical Service, you have sought, in my view, to demystify statistics and demystify our census data and results, and as it were, bring it to the doorstep of Ghanaians. And for that, again, you also deserve an applause. Like one of the questions indicated, we are used to seeing census data printed as district reports and regional reports. And for the first time, we make it, maybe it coincided with the rise in AI and technology. But then we're making it much more accessible to the extent that we have the full census data in the Statistics Bank, so that students or any researcher who is interested can access it and tease out the kind of information that he or she wants. Hitherto, it was 10%, which was available to us to use. Today, we have 100%. And again, that is commendable. We are opening up and making ourselves much more readily available and responsible to our stakeholders, important stakeholders. What we've seen today gives me hope that as a country and as a people, if we are really interested in development, we have no excuse. The data is there to guide us as to what to do, what not to do, where to do it. Where are the places, districts, towns, villages, people in need? The disparities between those who have and the have-nots, and therefore places where government should put emphasis as far as investing money for developmental efforts and equalization across the board in the country is for everybody to see, not only those in service. And again, that is very commendable. We're making strides, huge strides, progress. If only those who need to listen, those who need to take the steps one step further to actually implement would also follow suit, Ghana would be a better place for us all. On that note, I'd like to commend the organizers of this event, Professor Isia Donko and Professor Nim, for bringing it to ECC and opening it up to Ghanaians, even secondary school students. Let's hope together, especially our postgraduate students. You have this resource available for you. Please don't make it gather dust or make it useless. There's a lot that can be made out of this data. going to the field to gather data is not easy. It has been gathered for you. And there's rich data in there for you to tease out themes that you could use for your thesis and for publications. You don't need to go through the expense of spending money again going to the field. Let's make use of it. We've been told that they will be enriching our library with data. Let it not gather dust. Our younger brothers and sisters from the secondary schools, from time to time, make time to visit our library. That is where the interest starts. And you don't know where to take you in the future. On that note, thank you all for gracing this occasion, and safe journey to those going back to Accra. I hope you leave Professor Ning for us for another 2 days before he goes back. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let's do it for Prof whilst he takes his seat. Help me welcome Miss Mariam Frimpong, Grassack Vice President UCC, to give us the vote of thanks. Is Mariam is here. Let's welcome her. Oh, we don't sound excited that she's coming up.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Following the already established protocols, I would like to say a very big thank you to the Almighty God for making this program a success. Now to our chairpersons, distinguished guests, and distinguished speakers, we say God richly bless you for gracing this occasion. And to all members present, we extend our heartfelt gratitude for your effort and time. Your valuable contributions really made this day a remarkable one, and we say God richly bless you. Now to the School of Graduate Studies, we are ever grateful for your support and everything you do for us. We say God richly bless you. And finally to our MC, organizers, and then technicians of this great day, we say God richly bless you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll take the closing prayer, and to help us is Dr. Listo Ofeka from the Department of Population and Health, University of Cape Coast. Let's welcome Doc to give us a closing prayer.
Please, let's be on our feet for a word of prayer. Lord, we started this program with your name, and we ask you to lead us to a successful conclusion. Exactly what you have done. We say glory be to your name. As we are living here, Lord, we are not leaving your presence. We pray that you grant your traveling mercies to especially those who travel to Accra, and those who also get to their various homes. You carry each and every one to their final destination, so that if we reach home successfully, we give thanks to you. A lot is what we have done here. We pray that, Lord, you help us to put all what we have done into practice, so that the purpose of this initiative will be fully accomplished. This and many more we ask. With thanksgiving, we pray. Amen.
Thank you very much. We're going to have a photo session here. So I would invite our speakers and our guests who are up on stage to come right in front of the stage, and then the winners who just took awards should also come join them so we can take the photo. We'll do it first with the first, second, third. All three of you, please come. All those who received awards for the Statsbank Hackathon, please approach. Let's take the photos. If we have our judges here, judges, mentors, if you are here, please join. Judges and mentors, if you are here, please join.